Hello everyone, thank you for joining me here today. My name is Mike, I'm a tech with Chase Bliss Audio, and I am here to talk about our pedal Thermae, and specifically there's one feature of Thermae that people are asking a lot of questions about, kind of having a hard time understanding. That feature is the modulation dip switch. So I thought I'd make this quick little video to show you just how it works, what it controls, how to set it up, everything you need to know about it. Let's take a look. So taking a look at our Thermae here, we're going to set up a pretty basic sound, basic for Thermae of course. Let's set our intervals. We're going to do the first interval to an octave below, second interval to an octave above, all three rates set to quarter note, so we're getting a pretty standard just octave sequence. Now, you can hear there's no modulation on it currently. So, if we want to add modulation, we're going to go to our back panel, go to the second dip switch to the left, that is our modulation dip switch. We're going to turn that on. Now, what this does, it does not stop the sequence. You'll notice we're still getting intervals. All this does is turns these four controls, you got your interval 1, interval 2, and the two corresponding switches below. Turns those into modulation controls. So you can see the alternate labels below them. You got speed and depth on the two knobs, you got wave shape on the right switch, and then this left switch I'll cover in a second. So we've still got our octave sequence going, and you can hear now there's a really slow, kind of deep vibrato on it. You can hear those pitches starting to drift. Turn up that speed control. A nice wiggly vibrato. Just on the delay signal, of course. Depth over here. Really shallow. Right is super, super deep. Let's keep it at a fast vibrato. Not too deep, still pretty wiggly. Keep our speed and depth there for a moment. Moving to this right switch. Wave shape, that should be fairly self-explanatory. We've got triangle wave, which is the setting we're in right now. Got sine wave, a little smoother. Got square, it's a little angular. Kind of like square at slower speeds, personally. Set it back to sine for a moment. This left switch controls essentially randomization of the modulation. So essentially in the leftmost position, it's a pretty standard wave, pretty even, pretty consistent. And the further right you get, the more random those waves will become. So, as an example, here's our pretty standard vibrato again. Move it all the way right, and you can hear it just gets a little more unpredictable, a little more squirrely. Not quite that same nice even wave that we were getting before. A few more jumps and blips and bloops. Back to that standard vibrato. Now, once you have your modulation sound set, I'm really liking how this sounds. It's a nice kind of little wiggle to my sequence. Once you have a sound that you like, you can return to the back panel. Let's turn that modulation switch off. And here, now that these are set back to sequence controls, it has changed our sequence a little bit. So I'm going to bring it back to what we had originally, which is an octave below, octave above. Play into it, and you'll hear that modulation that we set up, still there. Turning off the modulation switch does not turn off modulation. It just changes these controls back to your interval controls as opposed to speed and depth. So your modulation will stay. It remembers how you set it up. Same deal with the sequence, obviously. When you go over to modulation, it remembers your settings previously. Play is still there. You can now mess with the sequence. All kinds of crazy stuff. Example, we'll turn off the sequence and just have a nice delay with modulation. So let's say I get to my end sound and I, while playing, decide that I want to change the modulation up a little bit. Let's keep this standard delay sound just for sake of example. All you have to do, go back in, flip the modulation switch, say I want to get rid of modulation entirely, let's turn those down. I'm just going to clean delay, flip the switch again, reset your intervals, which I am doing none. There you go. Nice clean delay, no modulation. And one more time, just to really hammer it home. Bring that back in, flip the modulation switch. Let's turn up our depth and speed. Flip it off, reset the intervals. And there's our delay with vibrato again. It's pretty simple. It's not stopping the sequence. It's not affecting the delay at all, except for the modulation circuit. So that should cover it. Hopefully by now you are a master of modulation, know exactly how to get the sounds you want. Thanks for watching. Hope this helps.